Well, boo everyone. I am still alive. This is sort of a, I guess, Halloween special because it's close to Halloween. Um, and yeah, decided to do a special at my at the old time frame. Uh, I would have to say the Saturday is not working as well as planned. No sound. That's interesting. No sound. That doesn't seem right. Well, I got sound. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of those things of the job is going well, I guess. Um, and thanks for everyone for coming in. Um, and yeah, it's you know, I'm finding out that I'm no longer the morning person that I used to be. So I am contemplating on doing something, different, doing a different time slot. But right now, I haven't figured out exactly what that is. But it seems that seeing some very familiar faces or familiar names, I should say, like Andy, the hot dog pilot himself. One that doesn't quite look familiar, but I'm assuming it's James from Dundas Junction. Then there's Valley's 56XX, the ever so popular Wigwag Workshop. Let's see who else is in here. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I think I got everyone that's commented, but yeah, I've not been on top of the weekly thing since moving to the new slot. I think I did it good for about almost maybe a month or something like that. But then after that, I'm just like, yeah, I would get up for it, but just not have the ambition. Yeah, the handles are. I know with mine, it's like it says Happy Valley Hobbies, but when I actually put it down there, they throw numbers on it. Let's see, what is the numbers? Yeah, the 6070. If I remember correctly, that was because some people had the same exact channel name, and they want to be able to differentiate uh, sort of separate them. So if somebody had, I mean, not many people I don't think would have like Sparky. Oh, hello there, Jerry. Thank you for coming in. I would have to say there. Well, if somebody else had a boxcar Jerry, I guess they would have the added numbers on there to differentiate between the two. But in my opinion, if there's no one with the same exact number, then you shouldn't be adding numbers. But that was not my decision. Um, but yeah, this is sort of a surprise special Halloween edition. Just to do something and all that, because uh, the the early schedule on Saturday morning is not. I'm just not up to it. But I'm also don't think I'll because there's things on Sunday night I want to do. I probably will not keep this as a normal schedule. I basically haven't figured it out yet. One of the interesting things I have done recently, it's not out yet, But I was interviewed with the model railroad people. It is a podcast. Let's see. And yeah, as I said, it's not. Ooh, that's interesting. That's not what I want. There we go. Just getting the phone on, so when I go over to the when I go over to the bench, I can still watch the chat. But yeah, it's finding out that the one thing about doing the live streams, I mean, I've wound up doing a lot more modeling than without, so that's why I want to see about getting back into it, because, well, I got a lot of projects to do, and apparently motivating myself to do the projects is, it's YouTube content, so hence why I'm doing the YouTube, not necessarily to be infamous like Heath or Sparky or Ray Bobel, but it's just, letting people out there know what's going on. So let me switch over to the workbench camera. And here we are. And as you can see, I have a lot of locomotives out. Let's see. And what the plan is for tonight, well, one of the things I wound up doing in my time off, I guess, is I did order some stuff from Northwest Shortline. Let's put this here. And let's see, this aside for a second. Actually, when I was planning on regauging a locomotive, I was actually planning on this one, but unfortunately, the axles on this particular one, they're stepped, and so I was not able to do that. So that's why I wound up, regauging this particular locomotive. My plan right now is to regauge another locomotive, because with Northwest Shortline, I wound up getting they do have like a repower kit for this particular type of locomotive, but with the locomotive being so large, it winds up taking up the entire cab. So I asked them a question of, what can I use for much smaller motors. So this is the motor that they suggested. They also suggested the worm gear and the plastic the plastic gear to be used on this. And right now my plan is not to repower this one, because right now it is working. I do have to get the different axles and trucks, which I did wind up buying from Northwest Shortline also. So I got basically these are S-scale axles, or S gauge or scale. And I also wound up getting wheels. Well, the thing is that the wheels they're not insulated. So even though I was able to make a set that rolls pretty decent, I guess, unfortunately, a couple of things went awry. One is that they're not insulated. So this is a solid short circuit. After a second email to Northwest Shortline saying that, hey, uh, you know, there's, where do I get insulated ones? And apparently I have to buy more wheels, which have a larger hole in it, and the insulators separately. It's not. I would have to say it's not on their website. I mean, I so much want to go on their website and just turn around and repopulate it with information, because there's a lot of signs, a lot of pictures that are like, oh, there's a picture coming soon. And it's been like that for at least 5 years. But the insulated wheels and the insulators are on the way. Hey, PKW, thank you for coming in. This is sort of the surprised Boo Halloween edition, just to let people know that I am still alive. Because I'm finding out that I'm not necessarily a morning person, so I'm not really doing the things for doing the things appropriately for Saturday morning. But it's one of those things of I'm still here. So my plan tonight is to, after going through all my different locomotives to see which ones to change. This one has red drivers, but I have a bunch of these that have black drivers. So my idea is to take apart, make a black driver one, and remotor it with this particular. It's a smaller motor. I had to also buy the worm gear separately and the other half of the worm gear. But it's one of those things of got that important detail. Hold on one second while I look for storage bins. There we go. Basically, I'm gonna use this style of storage bin to put the appropriate parts in. And we'll go from there. But yeah, with after the episode for the model train people come out, I'll probably put it in the community tab. Bunch of young guys, just doing their best to make it known out there that there are young people that are doing model train stuff. All right, so let's see if we can stuff this in there. Let's slowly disassemble this. SD8 might move over to John's channel. Is that for tonight, or is this going to be a permanent thing? Yeah, it would have been nice going to the meet and greet, but unfortunately, he's a little far away from me. This is not coming apart as much as I would like. Ah, gotcha. All right. So it's not a public thing. All right, that finally comes out. That's not the one I want out. This is the one I want. This has the this is not a very good screw. All right, how am I going to get this screw out? So I need to get the screw out because that has the wire on it. Ooh, that's a very broken drawbar also. But that's one of the advantages of buying a bunch of these little locomotives and all that. You got plenty of spare parts. And oh, okay, this looks like it's been, let's say, modified, because this is not moving as needed. It's a disadvantage with sometimes getting older stuff, because it might have been, someone might have quote unquote fixed it before but didn't fix it properly. That's a possibility with this one, mainly because this particular model does not have the original horn hook couplers on it. So this might have been modified. Okay, this is it's been a while since I've actually had to take the actual cover off the tender. Ah, that actually works out. We loosened it up enough to take care of that, because now it just flies right off. And that screw just went flying behind me. Alright, so, alright, that's not going to fit there. Up here, nope. Looks like I gotta take out one of these. That means I'm probably going to take more of these out. Because I heard it drop behind me somewhere, but right now I don't have time to go looking for it. All right. So, not quite sure what I'm going to do with that particular part yet, but all right. Now we're to the locomotive itself. Take this apart. I got that apart for because I know the boiler's a lot longer than the. It might fit in there. Okay, get that like that. Okay. Uh, that's interesting. There's only one wire. Wonder how that's supposed to work. Unless it's using the somehow using the there's the actual light bulb itself. Now let's take this out so it doesn't get. Ooh, did not realize that they're actually these handrails are actually crimped there, so that's not coming out anytime soon. Let's put that down. There's a way to move that light bulb out. Ah, okay. This wire is soldered directly to the bottom of the light bulb, and it looks like the screw-in portion is being used for the best way I want to say is ground, and then that's grounded through that screw that connects it to the frame. So let's put this in right here. Let's remove the motor. If I remember correctly, it's this particular one here. Yep, that's the motor there. All right, so that's a single. It's a single screw there. All right. So that will take. That's the old motor. Put that there for now. Let's grab the new motor. See how that's going to fit. I'm going to definitely have to make a bracket that would connect pretty much a bracket that would go this direction. But let's see, there we go. Take this out. Now these also came in their own little packages. Right now the worm part of the air is not connected, but ooh, that looks going to be a lot closer than I originally was thinking. Right? And since it's, pretty much almost half the length of the original motor, you might be able to stuff this completely out of the cab, and then have. Let's see. This one actually has it this way. Yeah, it looks like if done correctly, this motor will no longer be in the cab. Now I don't know how strong this is compared to this one, but these types of are used to. These I think have rare earth metal magnets in them, where this is just a regular metal or earth metal. So even though this is larger, it might be since it has a weaker magnet, this might be the same. But it looks like I'm able to, just turn around and put it like right there. Not quite sure what the difference is in this. Looks like it was a little bit thinner, but it looks like it might be the same size. I'm gonna have to, take that all apart. Let's see. Ooh, this thing is still set up as top messages. All messages. There we go. But one of the things I had to figure out with doing the model train stuff, model train people stuff, is I don't have a good holder for the phone. I was not able to do it on the laptop because it kept on defer. It only had this camera angle. I didn't have the headshot one because it's a podcast. It just made more sense doing it the other way. But oh well. Okay, we'll take that. We'll probably have to turn around and unsolder that stuff later on. Let's see, can we take, yeah, we can take that off, so we might be able to, let's push that in, push that way. It will now fit in there. All right, that'll work. Another thing is I gotta figure out how to do a smaller cab because from my understanding, this particular locomotive is actually not 1/87th scale, but 1/76. Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, I think I got some extra brass that I might be able to actually retrofit the motor. But good thing that the layout itself is only 6 foot long, so I'm definitely not going to be pulling any large equipment. I think the most I'm ever going to do is, I just dropped another one. Well, since this is an Inglenook, basically the most I'll be doing, I believe, would be 5 cars anyway, so hold on this for 1 second. I need a brighter light to see if I can find that. Oh, there it is. It's the screw that I wound up losing was pretty long one, so it was easy to find. No. Put that there. Alright. Thing is, you can't see in my improvised phone holder. And you can barely, this is what it is. But it's holding the phone up against the standard gauge layout. But and now I have to see about modifying this. Is trying to remember what I did. I know I wound up rebending these so they would be bent that way to accommodate the rails. Adding washers. Let's see. Also, I wound up flipping the main rods so instead of being on the inside, they're on the outside. And I think I had to modify this air tank, which is not really round to begin with, but might eventually replace that with an actual round cylinder. One thing I was hoping to do was to get rid of the blind drivers, but apparently the blind drivers are at they're a different diameter than the flanged ones, which is annoying. But my plan tonight is just disassembly, not to actually start modifying stuff. But for the actual trucks, I have ordered trucks to replace these from LaBelle. At first they weren't, it's like they got the I got the auto generated thing of, hey, it's like your order's been put in, but I've heard nothing afterwards. And then to find out, the person, I guess, that does the ordering was on vacation. They had just gotten back. And apparently they lost one of their key people there. Don't know the details, but they are they were lost because, well, they stopped living, which is sort of kind of sad, but death does happen. Ooh. Now we'll slowly roll this out. We'll grab these. And one of the important things to do when you're doing something like this is to actually making sure it's not necessary, but making sure that the engine actually runs, because then you don't have to worry about doing the diagnosis of going through and going like, all right, why is this not working? But if everything is working, then you know that you can turn around and it's a lot easier to go and like, all right, well, it works, so we put it back together the way it's supposed to. Then we won't have to worry about all the fixing things that if it didn't work. All right, so that's all the way down to the frame. Oh, okay. Because this is painted, I thought this was a separate piece, but it's like, no, it looks like they just dipped it in red. All right, let's see. We put that over here. And put all the frame parts over here. But now that they're back, they're like going like, oh my god, there's all this backlog and all that. And yes, it has half brass bearings. That's why I grabbed this specific one, because as you can see, I got I got all different variations of it and all that, so it's one of those things of might as well grab the one that has the bearings in it. And that's why I did the same thing with this one. This one also has, if I remember correctly, this also has the half brass bearings that are in them. It's one of the advantages when you buy a whole bunch of them and all that, and it's like going like, all right, well, then you can turn around and pick the ones that you want and grab the ones that you believe are going to be the better runners. Now this, all right, now this we'll put over here. And of course, I'm doing this directly behind my I forgot what they call it, because the logo is in the other. It's in the other corner, and this is the identifier. All I'm doing is just turning around and disassembling the main rods and side rods and all that fun stuff. Some of these have to be regauged. This wheel actually has to be replaced because this has a rubber. The rubber O-ring that's on it is for help providing traction. But since this layout is going to be level when I'm using it, there's no grades. There's possibly only 5 cars, so sort of like I don't really need. Well, I don't believe I need that. But another thing is that I do have the Northwest short line puller number 3. And I found out even though these have these appropriate things to pull the wheels off and put them on, unfortunately I'm not quite sure if you can see this, but as you might be able to see that I want to say flat. Yes, the motor did come from Northwest Short Line. For those who are interested, it's a 1220S-9, 3-pole, 112 volt, 112 volt, 12 volt DC. It's a single shaft of a 1mm shaft. Okay, that sounds like. Thank you very much, PK&W, which I'm blanking on your name. Sorry. It's one of those things I should know it, but for some reason it's just it has not crawled from the back of my head. And the thing is that the motor does come with these 2 very small screws. So that's why putting on a lot of times I see it's like where they put like either a modeling putty or something else along the lines that they just stick on the bottom and then put it on top. The way I look at it, having it on a metal bracket with screws and all that gives it a better. It keeps the motor from just breaking off. That's just my opinion. And plus it looks nicer. And there's also this is the operating characteristics, and you said the accessories. The quick mount motor adhesive, it's basically gluing it on there. Actually, that's not a dual gauge test drive. That's actually part of the layout. my test track. Let me grab it. It's, again, sort of that, being serious about doing dual gauge. Because what I wound up doing is this cute little thing. You got your normal, Atlas track here, and then also got this right here gauged to 6 foot, which apparently I need to resolder this because it looks like it has come off. Well, that's just wrong. And complete with the Digitrax, so I can actually hook it up to either USB or to my Zephyr that I got as that. But no, actually, one of the things I'm planning for this layout is to hopefully help with getting a with the NMRA getting a what they call the Golden Spike Award, where you have to do so much, so many different things. Why, thank you. You have to have a certain amount of scenery, having the appropriate cars. The cars can be kits; they don't have to be scratch built. But I'm assuming, heavily modifying and regauging a locomotive, that probably will put it into an upper category. Same thing with the cars. I forgot how many cars you're supposed to have. They don't have to be contest models, but basically show that you're what you can do is you're not a novice that is just starting to do stuff. And originally I was just going to go for the regular Golden Spike and all that, and then it's like, oh, wait a second, I got with this layout with the dioramas, I've actually I should have seen that track with fully with advertising. It's like, yeah. When you're doing a test track, I mean, you don't need the rails. You just put two rails with the right amount of distance. One of the things I'm doing is I don't like how the selector plate is that I got on this layout, so I'm going to see about reinforcing it with angle iron. Well, angle aluminum. Let's grab this. Now, the selector plate is out of camera, but I'm thinking about using this aluminum angle to stiffen it up a bit. And I wound up doing on I do have a setup where I made like a locomotive box that turns around and basically so I can turn around and it was designed so I can carry a locomotive without actually having the original box and foam, which was deteriorating. And what I wound up doing was using these angle they're 1x1, so they're actually wide. It was wide enough so you can actually put foam in there to keep the locomotive from bouncing around. But I actually gauged the aluminum to be the standard gauge. This would I would turn around and have it 6-foot gauge, and then possibly adding another rail. Let's see if it's the right height. Got a piece of code 55 here. I'm using code 55 for the rail, mostly because since I'm also doing 1876, this would be more appropriate scale. Let's see, is this the right height or close to it? Yeah, it's actually close to the close to the gauge of the aluminum, which, if I remember correctly, I want to say 1/8 of an inch. So basically, I'm going to have this gauged at 6 foot, and then have this on one side, which is the same size as this, which would be standard gauge. So it'd look something similar to that. So theoretically, I don't have to remove the one standard rail, but the ones that are 6 foot, I probably have to take that off and then re-gauge it that way, I guess. Not quite sure, but that's probably going to be for a project when I'm close to actually having operating equipment. I mean, technically this locomotive does work, but right now the connections are not connected to live rail, so I have to use alligator clips to make this run back and forth. But it does work. When I first had it working and trying to go around corners, for some reason it just wouldn't go around corners, and then that's when I found out that I happened to find out that when I put all the wheels on the ground and all that, it was wobbling. So this particular driver is actually lower. Probably if you put a straight edge across this, you can probably see that this driver is lower than the other two. So yeah, it's as I mentioned before, it was good enough to be interviewed by the model train people, because the one guy's going like, oh my god, he needs to know more about this, because as far as he knows, there's no one else doing broad gauge. I know there's the Broad Gauge Society in over in Britain, and I forgot who it was, but there is someone that I know through Discord that's doing the Lackawanna. I'm doing more of a fictitious railroad because I just didn't want to be bothered with rivet counters. And like, oh, this locomotive didn't have that, and it's like, it's a fantasy locomotive. There's the possibility of being quote unquote bought by a real railroad, but I just didn't want to go that particular route. But yeah, I had to get the motor, the right hand worm gear, and this is called a replacement gear. So, that's one thing I didn't think of. Does this go on that? It doesn't quite fit. So it's a different mod, or what they call module. That's odd. That doesn't quite fit either. I was going to say that fits better than the worm gear, but might as well use all the correct stuff. But if this works out, I'll be buying a second set of these. Well, that's an interesting thing I'll have to look at closer. So it's about buying something that from my possible future landlord. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And but it's I know there's sometimes people can be really picky about things, about trying to do the prototype correctly. Um, I th- One of the things I think when I was younger, I was sort of part of that crowd, and then it's like like, yeah, nah. It's like if it looks good from 6 feet away, that's where I'm going to go for. Um, but let's see, what time is it? All right, it's getting close to the end, so let me switch over to the head camera. But yeah, one thing I'm sort of aiming for as a timeline for the railroad is to have it done by the Great Train Extravaganza, which is usually the first Sunday of December. Now let's go back to webcam. Ta-da! And yeah, let's go that way. And yeah, so I can sort of display it there, have it all scenic and all that. Right now, I'm concentrating on actually building equipment to run on it, because having it all look nice and all that and have nothing to run on it is sort of kind of pointless. So that's why I'm concentrating on that at this point. As you saw, I already have wheels and axles. Unfortunately, it's like I don't have insulated wheels, so that will change soon. Theoretically, Monday that should be coming in. And then from LaBelle, that's where I'm getting. That's where I'm going to be getting most of the trucks, because with the LaBelle, it's like most trucks, they come in one piece. LaBelle's comes in three, so I can actually turn around and figure out how where the holes in the bolsters are, and then make bolsters that are a little bit wider, and then be able to go that direction. They might not be as highly detailed because they're old style cast trucks instead of injection molding. So that's the compromise there. But it's one of those things of if I go even farther with making more and more rail cars and all that, I might turn around and ask, hey, can I get just the side frames, not the I don't need the bolsters. I just need the side frames. So that's what I'll be probably aiming for with that. And if I remember correctly, the STS is I'll basically let people know what I'm doing with the motor install. I have ideas, but basically the hardest thing I think is going to be figuring out what the angle is, the angle of the bracket itself, and then also how high the mounting holes will have to be. Once I figure that one out, then I can turn around and reproduce it, basically. But I haven't tested the motor, but since it's a brand new motor, my assumption that it works. But it's probably one of those things of probably should have tested it to making sure it worked, so they won't be going like, hey, the motor doesn't work. But I do know it was suggested that to get a reamer for the gear. Yeah, I would have to say it's nice that it's nice to do this time slot because um, apparently it's like people it's like, hey, he's on again. Uh, but I might, yeah, there's a possibility I might just pop in on a Sunday every now and then. No guarantees. It also depends on life in general, and uh, maybe I don't find another scheduled spot. Don't know. Um, but yeah, right now I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a morning person. So, well, hello there, Randall. Unfortunately, I'm getting ready to log off. Just basically saying, boo, I'm here, alive, and I'm here. And just basically all I did tonight was disassemble a locomotive, and next time I'm on, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to do the motor mount. And we'll go from there. And I guess now it's supposed to be Ray tonight, correct? For Sidetrack Sunday? Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I would have to say the notification was probably, I originally set this up around, I want to say 2 o'clock or something along those lines. Oh, okay. Ready to correct for STS. All right. Thank you, PKW. So, yeah, notifications, it's like, with the new schedule, I kept on forgetting to set it up ahead of time. When I was doing it at this time, it was basically, oh, I forgot to do it, and forget to do it on a Saturday, and realize that I didn't do it, and realize that on a Saturday. So at least you had 24 hours notice. But today, 2 days left for the October display. Gotcha. But trying to think, I think Central Vermont is on the east side of Vermont. I'm on the west. Not that Vermont's not very wide. Even the I want to say the northern part of Vermont that's up near Canada, I think can get maybe 3 hours because the roads are not straight. And even on the south end, it's not that straight either, and that's going across Vermont on the southern end. I think is maybe an hour and 45 minutes. But gotcha. All right. Yeah, my sister was talking about the she's waiting for the Halloween music to come on, and it's like, they're it's not, the Halloween music won't come on until I think she said Tuesday or something like that. It's like we're only getting only Halloween music for 4 or 5 days. Yet we're going to have a month or two of Christmas songs. She's not happy about that. About a month ago, I was actually surprised to find out that the Trans-Siberian Orchestra was advertising for their Christmas thing. A month ago. But that's what the Trans-Siberian Orchestra is sort of known for, is their Christmas music. Not many people realize that they do other things besides Christmas music. All right, well, I guess I'll see everyone over in the race channel. So thanks for everyone for coming. I believe the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.